Welcome back to the channel JF Coin everyone, and today we are diving into one of the most fascinating coins that might actually be hiding in your pocket change right now. Imagine holding a tiny copper-colored coin that looks ordinary, something you might normally ignore or even toss aside, yet collectors around the world are searching for it because certain rare versions can be worth serious money. Today we are talking about the legendary 1-cent 1988 Lincoln penny with the words "In God We Trust" and United States of America, a small coin with a surprisingly big story. Many people overlook pennies because they think they have almost no value, but coin collectors know that some of these humble coins carry hidden treasures in their design, history, and minting mistakes. The 1988 Lincoln penny is one of those coins that continues to attract attention among collectors and treasure hunters because of rare varieties, unusual errors, and the fascinating history behind its creation. The Lincoln penny itself has a long and powerful story in American coinage. The design featuring the portrait of President Abraham Lincoln first appeared in 1909. Marking the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth and becoming the first regular United States coin to feature a real historical figure. Over time, the coin went through design changes, composition changes, and minting improvements, but it always carried the same powerful inscriptions. On the front of the coin you see the profile of Abraham Lincoln along with the famous words "In God We Trust" above his head, and the word "Liberty" on the left side. The year appears on the right side of the portrait. On the reverse side of the 1988 penny you see the Lincoln Memorial Building with the inscription "United States of America" across the top and the denomination 1 cent at the bottom. This design was used from 1959 until 2008 and became one of the most recognizable coin designs in the world. The 1988 Lincoln penny was minted in huge numbers. Billions of these coins were produced at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, which means most examples are extremely common and typically worth only their face value. In fact, in average circulated condition a normal 1988 penny is usually worth just 1 cent, while pristine uncirculated examples may reach only a couple of dollars depending on their condition. But the exciting part of coin collecting begins when you discover that not every coin produced by a mint is perfect. Sometimes machines malfunction, dies are misaligned, or new designs accidentally appear on older coins. These minting mistakes create what collectors call error coins, and these errors can transform an ordinary coin into a rare collectible point. One of the most talked about varieties of the 1988 penny is the famous reverse of 1989 design variety. During the transition from the 1988 coin design to the slightly modified 1989 reverse, a small number of coins were accidentally struck using the newer reverse die intended for the following year. This created a subtle but important difference in the lettering and design details, especially around the initials of the designer near the Lincoln Memorial. Collectors noticed that the initials FG appeared sharper and slightly different compared to normal coins. This variety is sometimes called the flared G or the reverse of 1989 variety, and it is one of the most valuable forms of the 1988 penny. In high-grade mint condition, these coins can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on their quality and certification. Another fascinating variety is the double die error, which occurs when the coin die receives multiple misaligned impressions during the manufacturing process. This mistake causes letters or design elements to appear doubled when the coin is struck. On certain 1988 pennies collectors have observed doubling in areas such as the words "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and sometimes on Lincoln's ear, creating what is called the doubled ear variety. When the doubling is strong and the coin is preserved in excellent condition, collectors are willing to pay hundreds or even thousands of dollars to add such a coin to their collections. Mint mark errors also make the 1988 penny interesting. Coins produced in Denver carry a small letter D below the date, but sometimes the mint mark was punched incorrectly into the die, producing what collectors call a repunched mint mark. This error creates a doubled or shifted mint mark appearance and can increase the value of the coin among collectors who specialize in mint mark varieties. These coins are not extremely rare, but they are still valuable compared to a normal penny and can sell for several tens of dollars depending on their condition. Another category of valuable coins involves striking errors that occur during the actual minting process. Off-center strikes happen when the blank coin planchet is not positioned correctly inside the minting press, causing the design to be partially missing. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the more interesting the coin becomes to collectors. Some 1988 pennies with strong off-center strikes have been sold for dozens or even hundreds of dollars depending on the percentage of the missing design. There are also extremely unusual cases where a penny is struck on the wrong type of metal blank, such as a dime planchet. When this happens, the coin appears smaller and often has a silver-colored surface instead of the normal copper appearance. These rare minting mistakes are called wrong planchet errors, and they can be worth hundreds or even more depending on their condition and rarity. Coin grading plays a major role in determining the value of any collectible coin, including the 1988 Lincoln penny. Professional grading companies evaluate coins using a scale from poor condition all the way up to perfect mint state. A coin graded MS65 or higher is considered uncirculated and can command significantly higher prices compared to a coin that has been heavily worn in circulation. Even small differences in grade can dramatically change the market value of a coin because collectors want the best possible examples for their collections. Another interesting detail about the 1988 penny is the change in metal composition that occurred earlier in the decade. Before 1982, pennies were primarily made of copper, but rising copper prices forced the United States Mint to switch to a zinc core with a thin copper plating. By 1988, all pennies were made using this newer composition. Although this change reduced production costs, it also introduced new types of plating errors and surface defects that collectors sometimes find on coins from the late 1980s. For many collectors, the excitement of coin hunting lies in the possibility that valuable coins might still be hiding in everyday circulation. People often discover rare varieties while searching through old coin jars, bank rolls, or pocket change. Because billions of pennies were produced each year, it is entirely possible that valuable varieties remain undiscovered. This treasure hunting aspect is what makes coin collecting such an exciting hobby for people of all ages. If you want to check whether your 1988 penny might be valuable, there are several things you should look for. Start by examining the coin carefully under bright light using a magnifying glass or coin loupe. Look for unusual doubling in the lettering, especially in the words "In God We Trust" or "Liberty." Check Lincoln's ear for signs of doubling that might indicate the doubled ear variety. Turn the coin over and study the letters FG near the Lincoln Memorial to see if the G appears flared or unusually shaped. Also examine the coin's edges and design alignment to see whether the strike appears off-center or unusual. Another important step is to weigh the coin and compare it with the standard weight of a Lincoln cent, which should be around 2.5 grams for modern zinc cents. If the weight is significantly different, the coin might have been struck on the wrong type of planchet, which could make it extremely rare. Professional collectors often use digital scales and calipers to measure their coins precisely. Once you believe you may have discovered a valuable coin, the next step is to have it authenticated and graded by a professional coin grading service. Organizations such as PCGS or NGC specialize in verifying coins and assigning official grades that help determine their value in the collector market. Coins that receive high grades from these services often sell for much higher prices because buyers trust the certification. The market for rare coins has grown dramatically over the years as collectors and investors recognize the historical importance and rarity of certain pieces. Auctions, coin shows, and online marketplaces allow collectors to buy and sell coins from around the world, creating a vibrant global community of numismatics enthusiasts. Even small coins like the Lincoln penny can capture attention when they carry unique stories or rare errors. The 1988 Lincoln penny reminds us that sometimes the smallest objects can carry the most surprising stories. A coin that originally had a face value of just 1 cent can become a prized collectible if it contains a rare minting error or exceptional condition. That is why collectors continue to search through pocket change, hoping to discover the next hidden treasure. So the next time you receive change from a store or find an old jar of coins in Today we are diving into one of the most fascinating coins hiding in plain sight inside everyday pocket change. Imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out a simple 1-cent coin, and discovering that this tiny piece of copper could be worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to collectors. It sounds unbelievable, but that is exactly why coin collectors around the world are constantly searching their change for rare coins. In this video we are talking about the famous 1997 Lincoln penny, a coin that carries the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln along with the powerful national motto "In God We Trust" and the inscription "United States of America." At first glance this coin looks like any ordinary penny you might find in your wallet today. But hidden among billions of these coins are rare varieties and mint errors that can transform a 1-cent coin into a collector treasure worth thousands or even millions of dollars. Before we talk about the rare and valuable versions, let us first understand the history behind this famous American coin. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, making it the first regular circulating United States coin to feature a real historical figure rather than a symbolic image like Lady Liberty. The design was created by sculptor Victor David Brenner, and instantly became one of the most recognizable coin designs in American history. For decades this small coin has carried the words Liberty, the date of minting, and the national motto "In God We Trust" on the front, while the reverse design has changed several times throughout history. By the time the 1997 Lincoln penny was produced, the coin featured the Lincoln Memorial on the back, making it part of the famous Lincoln Memorial cent series that ran from 1959 until 2008. In 1997, the United States Mint produced billions of these pennies to meet the needs of the economy. Coins were struck at different mint facilities including Philadelphia and Denver, each identified by a tiny mint mark under the date. Coins without a mint mark came from Philadelphia, while coins with a small letter D came from the Denver Mint. In fact, the Philadelphia Mint alone produced more than 4.6 billion 1997 pennies, which shows just how common these coins are in circulation today. Because of such a huge mintage, most ordinary 1997 pennies are only worth their face value of 1 cent. Even uncirculated examples in perfect condition typically sell for only a small premium of a few cents, or about $1 depending on their condition. However, the story becomes much more exciting when we talk about rare varieties and minting mistakes. During the minting process, coins are created by striking metal blanks between engraved dies under extreme pressure. Occasionally the dies shift slightly or develop flaws during production, creating unusual doubling, misalignment, or other errors. These mistakes can produce coins that are completely different from the normal design, and collectors love these rare varieties because they represent unique moments in minting history. Some era coins are extremely rare, sometimes with only a handful known to exist, which makes them incredibly valuable in the numismatic marketplace. One of the most famous and valuable varieties associated with the 1997 Lincoln penny is known as the doubled ear error. This rare variety shows a clear doubling effect on Abraham Lincoln's ear and nearby hair details on the coin's obverse side. Instead of a single clean design, the ear appears to have been stamped twice due to a misalignment of the die during the minting process. Experts believe this error occurred during the hubbing stage when the design was transferred to the die. When the die was used to strike coins, the doubled design appeared on each coin it produced. Because only a very small number of coins were struck with this flawed die, examples of the doubled ear 1997 penny are extremely rare and highly sought after by collectors. Collectors often examine their coins using magnifying glasses or microscopes to search for this specific feature. If the ear appears doubled with clear separation lines, the coin might be one of the rare varieties that collectors are searching for. In some cases, coins with strong doubling have been valued at hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on their condition and certification. Some reports suggest that the most pristine specimens graded at the highest levels have sold for extraordinary amounts in private sales. According to numismatic sources, extremely rare examples of the doubled ear variety have reached values around $1 million in certain collector markets. Another reason collectors pay close attention to the 1997 penny is because it was produced during a time when the United States Mint was transitioning to new minting technologies. Changes in the hubbing process and die production sometimes resulted in unusual varieties that collectors now study carefully. The famous FS101 double-ear variety is considered one of the most interesting modern die varieties because the doubling can be visible in several areas around Lincoln's ear and hair curls. Some high-grade examples of this variety have sold for thousands of dollars at auctions, especially when the coin still retains its original bright red copper color and has never circulated in everyday commerce. But the doubled ear is not the only possible error that can increase the value of a 1997 Lincoln penny. Other types of minting mistakes can also make the coin more valuable to collectors. One example is the off-center strike error. This occurs when the blank coin is not properly aligned during the striking process, causing the design to appear shifted toward one side. If a significant portion of the design is missing but the date is still visible, collectors may pay a premium for such coins. Another interesting error occurs when a coin is struck on the wrong metal planchet, meaning the blank was originally intended for a different coin denomination. These unusual pieces often look very different from normal pennies and can attract strong interest among collectors. There are also strike-through errors where debris or foreign objects become trapped between the die and the coin during minting. This can leave unusual marks or impressions on the coin's surface. While some of these errors may only increase the value slightly, others can become highly collectible depending on how dramatic the error appears. Even minor doubling or die cracks can sometimes add collector value if the coin is in excellent condition. Condition plays a huge role in determining the value of any coin. Coin collectors use a grading scale that ranges from poor condition to perfect mint state coins that look exactly as they did when they left the mint. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin becomes. For example, a normal 1997 penny found in everyday circulation might only be worth 1 cent. But a perfectly preserved uncirculated coin graded near the top of the scale could sell for several dollars or more to collectors who want the finest examples for their collections. Some rare coins graded near perfection have even reached thousands of dollars at auction depending on demand. Another factor that increases value is rarity. When collectors know that only a few examples of a particular coin variety exist, they become more willing to pay high prices to own one. This is exactly what happened with some rare modern penny varieties. Although billions of pennies were produced in 1997, only a tiny fraction contained the rare errors that collectors are searching for. This combination of rarity, historical interest, and collector demand is what drives the market value of rare coins. The excitement surrounding rare pennies has also inspired many people to start coin roll hunting. This hobby involves searching through rolls of coins obtained from banks or stores to look for valuable varieties hiding among ordinary coins. Many collectors have discovered rare coins worth hundreds or thousands of dollars simply by carefully examining coins that other people overlooked. Stories like these keep the excitement alive and encourage new collectors to join the hobby. When searching for valuable coins, experts recommend using a magnifying glass and strong lighting to inspect details closely. Look carefully at Lincoln's ear, the lettering in Liberty, the date, and the motto "In God We Trust." Any unusual doubling, misalignment, or distortion might indicate a minting error. It is also important to handle coins carefully and avoid cleaning them because cleaning can damage the surface and reduce their value to collectors. If you believe you have found a rare coin, the next step is authentication and grading. Professional grading companies evaluate coins and assign them official grades based on their condition. They also verify whether the coin is genuine and identify any known varieties or errors. Having a coin professionally graded can greatly increase its credibility and value in the marketplace because buyers trust certified coins more than uncertified ones. The market for rare coins has grown tremendously over the years as collectors, investors, and historians continue to appreciate the stories behind these small pieces of metal. Coins like the 1997 Lincoln penny show how something as ordinary as pocket change can become a valuable historical artifact. Each coin represents a moment in time, a piece of craftsmanship, and sometimes even a fascinating mistake made during the minting proc.